Apologies for the plane, but hey everyone, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. Strong day today, starting to string together a couple of good days in a row, which is good. Um, but yeah, only took three trades, all of which worked out. Obviously, Open has a lot of retail backing, but I was seeing that I saw there was a crack yesterday for it, and that's why I was more bearish on this. Otherwise, I probably would have avoided this entirely. But starting with SMX, um, was seeing this breakout of the pre-market kind of resistance that was already there. So there was this big wick here above 1.7, and I was seeing that 1.7, 1.74 was getting shorted. That being said, it was getting bought up lower. So the trend overall when I'm short here was pretty bullish. It came up and I was really thinking of adding at 183 because this was a pretty standard like breakout with lower volume. There's indecision here. There's people trapped in the 175 to 1.8 area. So I would think that people would want to sell or short there. So I got in a little bit early. I meant to get in at 175, but I got in at 173, which in the grand scheme of things didn't really matter. But you could see I was in a tiny drawdown there, and then it sold off and hit my profit target. This one I held on to a little longer, so I was able to get an extra like $30 off of the trade. Then we have Open. So again, like under normal circumstances, I typically wouldn't trade this, but this is what happened yesterday. So there's a lot of people that are kind of trapped above 4, and it was approaching 4 again. So we saw here at 379 it was getting shorted, and then it reached close to 4. And at this point I was seeing that it reached kind of the overextension indicator I use at like 3.9. I got in at 388, so accidentally got in a little early. Well, it wasn't accidental. I wanted to get in at 3.9, but it wasn't getting back up there. So I just put my order at 388. Ended up climbing up to 392 and then sold off pretty short term. And then obviously, once market opened, pretty big dump. So probably could have held this one for longer considering what we saw yesterday and kind of how the market reacted towards the end of the day yesterday. But either way, that's not my strategy, not my edge. So not too worried about it. Just a clean trade, no real big drawdown there. And then ICU, I believe I was in a little drawdown. I might be wrong though. I think very little drawdown. So it's spiking up. We have this indecision here and it breaks through. And then I'm just waiting for the next point of indecision, which we had at 0.99 to 1. It ended up hitting 106, but 103 was showing a lot of shorting. So I wasn't too worried. I think my stop on this was 15 cents, so at 115. And then my take profit is obviously 10 cents down. So it came down to 9.3. I took off 20%. I shouldn't have. I should have took it off at 0.9 and then waited for the rest to cover down here because it wasn't really showing super hard strength. You see with these wicks, it's obviously getting shorted as it's approaching 1. So got out a little early here. This was kind of this is when I took my first I took the first little bit of the position off at 9.3, but I definitely should have waited a little bit to get close to 9 or get out of all of it at 9. I ended up covering the rest here for some reason. There was no reason, but the strength kind of scared me a little bit. I thought that, it hit my profit target. I should have just got all out there. I was trying to scale out of it as it keeps going lower. So I just got out of rest position there because most of what I was aiming for got realized. But again, another one where I definitely could have held. But overall, strong day. I'm thinking of scaling up at this point. So I might start scaling up by say like 50% because we're clearly like the edge is showing and the market's hot right now. So might as well take advantage of it during this time. So yeah, that's basically it for today. We have these, several days back to back of green, which is good, and I'm hoping to keep this up. So far on the month, I'm up like 10%, which is pretty solid. Maybe I guess less than that, more like 8%. But anyways, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Peace.